All right, so now that we have understood the question and planned the strong response as well as generated a great thesis for the essay, let's go ahead and write the response to this question. Again, the question is coming from the website and it reads like this. Writing task 2. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Write about the following topic. Most people spend a great deal of time at work. Therefore, job satisfaction is an important part of being happy in life. What elements are required for job satisfaction? Is it possible for all workers to achieve job satisfaction? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Write at least 250 words. Okay, so again, we are continuing with IELTS Task 2. And this is the essay writing. And this is a second example to some of the previous videos that deal with the same strategies of understanding and planning. So again, remember that the first paragraph of an essay is the introduction. So now again, the introduction has 3 parts. Of course, you do not need to write introduction during the essay. Indent 5 spaces, okay? This is a standard formatting rule for essays in writing. Indent 5 spaces and begin with the hook. So the very first sentence, again, is a hook. The hook, again, it's like for fishing, it's a hook that you catch your fish with. Here you're not catching fish, but you're catching, of course, the attention of the reader. So the hook should be an interesting statement. Again, remember, good hooks are often global statements, so some kind of a surprising or interesting, important fact that's true for the whole world or for most people in the world. Or a good hook can be a specific case or situation that reflects the topic of the question. So again, our topic is job satisfaction, so we need to come up with something interesting or exciting about that. Here we go. So, being happy in work means being happy in life. So again, this is a simple hook. Remember, keep your hooks simple. You do not want to make a mistake at the very beginning of your essay. That's a really bad first impression. This is a global statement. Arguably, it's true for most or every person in the world. So being happy in work means being happy in life. And of course, the word happy here and happy here, a little bit of repetition, but this is purposeful repetition. It gives strengths and emphasis to the idea of job satisfaction here. So it's a good hook, and then we continue on. Now, the second part of the introductory paragraph, of course, is the background information. And the background information is divided into 2 smaller parts, the definition of main ideas, and of course, the background. So, now, the background. So, again, the background is divided into 2 subparts, the definition of main terms. So in our example, defining job satisfaction, and then the importance of the discussion or the importance of the topic in controlling ideas. So here I'm going to give a little bit of definition of what it means to work and what job satisfaction means. So most people spend around 40 years working. 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. Okay, so here I've defined what work is. It really makes it clear for my reader. Again, notice how I'm using measurable definitions. So the exact time that people work, the 40 years and the 8 hours and the 5 days. And then I continue on. So when employees are satisfied in their jobs, meaning they have positive attitudes, they will also be content in other parts of their life, like with family and friends. Okay, so as you can see in these couple sentences here, I have given a very clear definition of what it means to work, what satisfaction is for work, and why that's important in people's lives, because they will be positive and happy with their family and friends. So that's the background. Now we have one more part for the introduction, of course, which is the thesis statement. Okay, so now comes the thesis. And of course, you're continuing along the bottom here. I've just run out of space on the board, so I'm going to write my thesis at the top. I believe that two factors which are important or necessary for job satisfaction are high salary and safe environment. However, do not forget this part. Job satisfaction is not possible for all workers. All right, so there's my thesis, and with the thesis I finished my introductory paragraph, and now I'm ready to go on to the body paragraphs. Now notice that most of the information, so my definitions, importance of the topic, And of course, the thesis, it's coming from the planning step of the previous part of the lesson, and of course the answers for the what, why, how questions. All right, so let's continue on with the body paragraph. All right, so now we are ready for body paragraph 1. Remember the first part of the body paragraph, it's the topic sentence. So topic sentence. The topic sentence, of course, is coming from the first point of the thesis, which is a high salary. Now, remember to paraphrase that. And of course, here we're combining it with another part, which is the not possible for everyone. So don't forget about that. Remember to indent your 5 spaces. And then begin. Try to paraphrase again the key point 1. So money is an important part of being satisfied with work, but not every job pays well. All right, so there's my topic sentence. And now, of course, the second step of a body paragraph is the explanation. And sometimes, again, teachers will refer to this as supporting point 1. So, clear explanation. All right, so again, remember, your reader does not know what you know, so you really need to explain ideas step by step in a very, very clear, visible, measurable way, and that will lead to good communication, which of course leads to a good mark. So what does it mean money is an important part of being satisfied? Well, let's discuss this. So when an employee is paid well, they feel their work is valuable, and they are appreciated. Also, they can use the money to buy nice objects or good services. All right, so that explains the idea of what money means to an employee. Now, to make this 100% clear for the reader, we should give some examples of what this means. So let's do that. So now we're going on to the specific example. And again, remember that most task 2 essays in the IELTS are first person. And since we began the essays first person, remember in the thesis, we say, I believe. And the question also asks, give examples from your own knowledge and your own experience. So this means talk about yourself or the world around you. And so I'm going to do that here. For instance, my uncle Jim works as a physician and makes around $10,000 a month. Okay, great. Continue on with the explanation. He uses this money to buy nice cars and travel to Europe every year. Again, I'm going to continue at the top here since I've run out of some space. Okay, now again, don't forget the valuable part. He feels that his work is valued partly because of his high salary. Okay, great. So this gives a nice specific example to what we mean when we say that high pay is an important part of job satisfaction. Now, before we go on to body paragraph 2, let's not forget about the second part of this question, which is the part about, is it possible for all workers? And in this case, no, it's not. So we have to write about that. However, a good salary is not given for all workers, such as dishwashers in restaurants or housekeepers in hotels. Therefore, not all employees are satisfied in this respect. Now, by answering the second controlling idea here, I've also created the concluding sentence for this paragraph. So I'm ready to go on to my next body paragraph, which will talk about a safe work environment. So this is the end of body paragraph 1. Let's go on to body paragraph 2. Okay, so the second body paragraph is like the first. It begins, of course, with the topic sentence, and now we're looking for the topic sentence of the second point, which again is a safe work environment. So this is body paragraph 2. Again, we are indenting our 5 spaces as we do with any new paragraph. And then safe work environment, again, try to paraphrase as much as possible, and remember that topic sentences have a topic and a controlling idea. So we need to have all of that. All right, so for most people, the feeling of safety at work or elsewhere is very critical for comfort and happiness. Now notice that here I haven't included into my topic sentence yet the idea that this is not possible for all workers. I don't want to overcomplicate it in this case, but definitely I will include that information later in the paragraph. So this is my topic sentence. Now I need to explain this idea. So health and a sense of contentment are strongly connected. When workers do tasks which endanger their physical well-being, they feel stressed and scared. All right, so again, I've given a fairly good explanation here. Now I need to give a specific example that represents what I'm talking about. So in one case, my friend Stan, who is a policeman in a dangerous part of the city, is always worried about being injured. And again, I'm out of space here, but you will continue from the bottom here. So I'm just going to continue at the top. So again, in one case, my friend Stan who is a policeman in a dangerous part of the city, is always worried about being injured or killed on the job. However, I work as a teacher, so I am satisfied with my environment. All right, again, make sure you don't forget the second part of the question, which is job satisfaction possible for all workers? We already talked about my friend Stan here, so clearly it's not. I've already given an example, so I simply just need to state that it's not possible, refer to my example, and that will conclude this paragraph. So clearly, as in Stan's case, the element of a safe work environment is not possible in every job. All right, so there we go. We have now concluded the second body paragraph. So we've finished the introduction, body 1, body 2, and now we're ready for the conclusion. So let's finish it up with the conclusion. Okay, so the conclusion paragraph uses, of course, some information from the other parts of the essay, and it includes some important information such as the take-home message for the reader, so something valuable that they can leave with. So let's write this now, the conclusion. All right, so again, indent your 5 spaces, and on the IELTS, they like to see the leading expression in conclusion. I suggest using in summary or to sum up for task 1, especially for the academic IELTS. For the general IELTS, you don't need that. Here, you should say for task 2, in conclusion. So in conclusion, and then for the first part of the conclusion, of course, as we've seen in previous lessons, you need to restate the main points of your essay. So in conclusion, worker safety and high wages. Just for your information, the difference between wage and salary. Salary is payment that you get for 1 month of work usually. Wage is the amount of money you get per hour. It's a little bit different, but in this context, you can change them up as synonyms. So in conclusion, worker safety and high wages are 2 elements which help lead to job satisfaction. Okay, then after I've restated my main points, I need to again state my argument strongly in a clear, easy to understand way. So what I've said is that these are necessary, but I do not believe it's possible for everyone to achieve this. So that's what I'm going to emphasize here. So unfortunately, not all jobs allow for these factors. So not all employees can be satisfied in their careers. All right, so now I've strongly stated the argument, making sure that both of the parts of the controlling ideas are answered here. And then, of course, last but not least, so a very important part of the conclusion is to make sure that you include one sentence, which is a piece of information or a message that is useful for your reader. And it's very important that this message is strongly connected to the topic and controlling ideas of the essay. It must not be a new thesis or a new argument, so be careful about that. But you do need to include it to make the reader feel that their time was well spent reading your ideas and that your essay is valuable. So again, a strong finish is almost as important as a strong beginning. So pay attention for that. So it is a good idea for individuals to consider the requirements of their chosen jobs to make sure that they are happy with their daily work and therefore their life. All right, so my message here is when an individual is choosing their work, they should pay attention to whether that work includes these parts of safety and high salary to make sure that they will be happy with their work and therefore they will be happy with their life. So that's my message to the reader. Hopefully they find that piece of information valuable, and this will nicely conclude my essay and help me to get a nice high score on the writing task 2 of the IELTS exam.